The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations is resigning. Nikki Haley announcing today that she will leave her post in the administration by the end of the year, citing term limits, political selflessness, and pointing to the fact that she's been hitting it pretty hard for 8 years. Let's not forget 6 years as South Carolina's governor to his ambassador. Haley said government officials must know when it's time to step aside. A little while ago, President Trump commending Haley on her performance at the UN.
Nikki's going to be involved with us for a long time, and she's going to help me also make that final pick. We're going to make the final pick. I want to get somebody really good. I think she's also brought a new level of prestige to that position. That position is, in terms of people wanting it, easier now in a way than it was before.
Here now to discuss who might replace former governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee. Governor, your name was actually tossed out there earlier today. I mean, if you want to accept now, let us know. We can break the news.
Let me assure you, my name is not going to be on that list. If somebody puts it on there, I'm going to go ahead and scrub it off. I'm not looking for a government job right now, but thanks so much for the sentiment. Look, Nikki Haley has done a terrific job in that position. She served this president and she served this country very admirably. The courage with which she took on the phony Palestinian grievances, the manner in which she pushed back against some of the international nonsense that we as Americans pay for, has been absolutely just spellbinding. And I think people have tried to say, well, what's the real reason? I think she gave it to us. 14 years in consecutive public service, and she needs some private sector time. I totally get it for her.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. The media always with the negative speculation all the time, and the hunches and the guesswork that were put out there publicly. If it was any other era, I would say it was irresponsible journalism, but it just seems to be par for the course these days. President Trump did mention, and you alluded to it in that soundbite. He talked about the prestige that she brought back to the position. Earlier, he said that she brought a certain sense of glamour to it. I could tell you, living in New York City for a long time, it was just this big spot that took up a lot of valuable real estate where these diplomats ran recklessly through the city, piling up millions of dollars in parking tickets and never being held accountable, but all the time thumbing their nose at America. It's been restored to the place now where it actually has a role in helping us define and to meet this America First role that the president is trying to achieve.
Well, Nikki Haley did a terrific job of representing the spirit of the president in saying America's not going to go around apologizing. We're a strong nation. We put America first. We're not going to bow down. We're not going to capitulate to all these pipsqueak nations that want to somehow make us feel guilty because we're prosperous. And I don't know of anyone who's ever been more effective as the UN ambassador than Nikki Haley in simply saying, folks, if you want to criticize the U.S., then maybe we'll quit writing checks to your government. Good for her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, we do, of course, still have some high-level tensions, foreign policy tensions, namely with China. Mike Pompeo and his counterpart in China had a very icy reception yesterday. Some rare words were exchanged in public. The body language was awful. This, of course, coming Mike Pompeo leaving North Korea, where apparently the meeting went pretty well. There's still Iran, there's still China's aggressions, there's still Russia. So there's a lot of work to be done on the diplomatic and foreign policy side, right?
Well, no doubt about it, Charles. And it's not been a perfect record, but think about this. There have been no missiles flying out of North Korea since the president's gotten tough with them and put the sanctions on. He hasn't removed them, but they're talking. Things are moving along in a way they haven't ever since 1953. Even the situation with China, a lot of people say, well, it's really tense. Good. It ought to be tense. We finally have a president who's pushing back and not just saying, oh, we can't offend some of these American companies who are making hand over fist with Chinese business interests. We're saying we're not going to be kicked around, have you steal intellectual property, have you go and manufacture things and undercut the prices of American manufacturing. I'm absolutely delighted that we have China sort of sitting up in their chair and being a little concerned about the fact that this president isn't being played as a chump. He's truly President Trump.
Before I let you go, Governor, do you want to venture a guess? Is it too early for us to? The speculation game began immediately, but Dina Powell's name has been mentioned here. Lindsey Graham's name has been mentioned, and a few others. I think it's important to continue to sort of grab this baton and to keep this going. What Nikki Haley has been able to do, again, resurrecting what had become a ceremonial joke to resurrecting it to a legitimate part of our government. So a lot of people are wondering who can fill those shoes.
Well, I think there are a number of people who can. They're big shoes to fill, and I'll say not that Nikki has big feet. I'm not saying that, but she has performed magnificently in that position. Maybe Rick Grinnell, who is right now the ambassador to Germany, although that particular ambassadorship is probably as prestigious as one can have, so he might not be interested. But he's another person who has been a very strong supporter of this president and administration and understands the nature of the UN and how it functions.
All right, Governor, I'll just share with you, about an hour ago, I did put up my own poll. So far, 16% would like to see Lindsey Graham, 44% Rick Grinnell, 18% Dina Powell, and 22% Kanye West. So it's a tight race, Governor. Thank you.
I'm going with Kanye. Bring him on.
All right. It's always a pleasure. Thanks, Governor.
Thanks, Charles.